and then I will see y'all somewhere, probably on a couch with some dogs, and we'll go over my list of anti-inflammatory food items. Those are not the right words. Y'all, hey, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for stopping by, y'all. We almost didn't make it out of the house today. We have two very sad, very spoiled little felons sitting back at the house, just pouting, just being mad that I left them there. But and I will be honest, I almost gave in to their little sad faces and said, all right, little felons, I will stay home with you and just have everything, all the things we have to do delivered to the house because they are just that spoiled. But I have to tell y'all what happened. So you know how sometimes when I go to start my car, it doesn't quite start so much as not start, which it hasn't done it, knock on wood. It hasn't done it in a while. Well, it kind of started to do it yesterday. I went to start it and it was like, and then started. Well, then I was running some errands and I went to, I parked in the mall parking lot and ran into a store and came back out, and it legit, honest to goodness was like, Jesus, please start this car for me. I tried 2 times, did not start. And I wasn't praying, I was begging Jesus to start my car because, so the intern, I don't want to say this where she can hear me, but the intern is not a huge fan of this car because sometimes she doesn't start. So he's like, start 2 jobs, start and drive, and it only does one of the 2 jobs. So I'm like, dude, that's 500. That'd be Hall of Fame in baseball. But he don't think that's funny, and he has threatened on many occasions. He almost sold it one time. Anyway, we can get into all that. So I told Jesus, I was like, please, if you will make it start. And so there's more to that. So I was concerned it wasn't going to start, and I have a jump pack, which the intern bought me this nice fancy jump pack, which when he bought it, he trained me in on how to use it, but that was 6 months ago. No, it was longer than that. I think it was at Christmas. He might have bought it for Christmas last year before I went to my mama's house. So it's been 10, y'all, that is forever in elderly human years. So I have completely forgotten how to use it. And it's not the regular, you just hook it up and jump. You got to push buttons and do things. So I had my jump pack in the car. I just didn't know how to use it. So not only would I have had to call the intern to come and help me, I would have had to call the intern to come and help me with the jump pack that I had in my car, which I would not have done that. I would have Googled it and figured out how to use it, but it was just, y'all, it was so much. So begged Jesus started my car, and I was like, all right, dude, if you'd please, I will drive around. I will forego all the rest of my errands. I will just drive around and charge up my battery. So then today, here's why I'm yabbling about this. Obviously, I did some workouts. And then I was like, I have errands to run, half my errands from yesterday that I didn't get to run, but I have errands to run. I need to go pick up the groceries and do the things. So, and I needed to take my break in between workouts and drink my drink and stuff. So I was like, let me do that in between and drive my car around a bit, charge it up a bit more. So then the felons were like, just stay with us, just sit on the couch. We can read books. It'll be fun. But I was like, y'all, seriously, I got to drive the car around, and I cannot bring them with because they're insane. So I know that was a very long way to go for a little bit of a payoff of a story. But so I'm driving around, charging up my battery. I finally remembered to mention to the intern that my tires need checked. We haven't actually checked them, but I've at least put it on his radar that it needs to be done. So how y'all doing? I know, crazy. So I got to finish yesterday's errands, and here's what we're going to do today. So I thought, y'all know I had the hip issue and we have new friends. Let me tell y'all this you don't know everything about my life. So for months and months and months, I was in physical therapy because I'm old and decrepit and stubborn. So last summer, I started having pain in my back that kind of felt, I say it felt like sciatica only because that's the only words about back pain that I know. So I started doing I didn't stop working out, but I started doing like pigeon stretches and those kind of stretches for sciatica and told myself it was helping. It was not helping. So it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And come to find out, it was like my IT band, my iliosacral joint, all of those things were completely jacked up. So it was like where like your hips come together in the back, like your pelvis comes together in the back. I don't know if that's your hips, but like where your pelvis comes together in the back, it was like from there across on I just had to do this to figure out it was my left side. I know, right? Across my left side, down my left leg, and like my left knee was involved. So it was all of that. So like my thigh, everything. I mean, I was still riding like 28 or 30 miles a day on the bike. I mean, I had a goal to meet, but anyway, so I was in PT for all of that. I've already forgotten why I'm telling this story. Give me a second. Oh, now I remember. Okay, so in PT for all of that, finally, after months of PT, and like I bought a TENS device to zap myself, all the things. One day I started doing whatever workout, and the stretch that I was doing had me stretch like across my body, and it wasn't like I was all of a sudden healed, but it was relief like I had not felt in months. Well, then Peloton added kettlebell workouts. Y'all, I love kettlebells. And so I started doing deadlifts, and that bending over and picking up stuff under stress somehow released whatever was happening in my hips. And same thing, like it wasn't like I was instantly, like I, heard the Hallelujah choir and was instantly healed, but I could feel things getting better. So everything is better, but I can tell there's still like my IT's better, my hips are better, everything is better. Katie dismissed me from PT. Not like within weeks, like within a couple 3 weeks of us figuring that out. She's like, oh yeah, that makes total sense. That's what's wrong with you. But I still have some inflammation in my left knee. Like I can still feel there's just something going on in there. And my mom and I talked about an anti-inflammatory diet when she was here. And I thought we had talked about this, but I went back and looked through my videos and I didn't see a video. What is happening with this hair? Sorry about this, y'all. But I got to go back and do some more working out. So sorry. I'll be cleaner later. But I looked back through my videos and didn't see where we'd ever actually talked about this. So if we did, sorry about that. I'm old and I forget things. But that's what I want to do today is talk about, because there are things that you can do. I think, isn't that why we started talking about chia seeds? Like that chia pudding, because it's anti-inflammatory, I think, right? Anyway, that's what I want to do. I want to talk about things that you can eat that will, I don't even know the right words to say, because I feel like saying that will lead to reduced inflammation or that will reduce the inflammation. I feel like that's the same thing, right? But I feel like there's a right way to say it, but there are foods that you can eat that are non-inflammatory. Maybe that's it. Maybe, oh no. I've read a bunch. I'm gonna read some more. But I have a list of foods, a non-inflammatory diet. And I'm not sure, y'all help me out I know y'all are way smarter than I am about all of this stuff. If it's these foods reduce inflammation or other foods cause inflammation and these don't, which I know there are foods like, that's why we're not supposed to eat processed white flour and like highly processed, like those ready to eat meals that you buy and just like, I'm not going to name any names, but the meals like that are ready to eat, like the freezer meals, very, very inflammatory. So I don't know if these things are just not that, or if they actually like reduce inflammation, but I want to talk about them. And I found a recipe that I want to make and it looks delicious. It's very similar to what we made last week and I don't even care because it looks delicious and I'm gonna make it. So let me drive a couple more laps around town, go do my errands and go back to the house before my felons die of a broken heart. And I'm going to finish. Y'all, it's the end of the month. So, I still have strength workouts to do. I think I'm down to my very last workout. So, and I'm probably going to do an ab workout because Saturday is the 1st, and that's Georgia, Florida. So I have to do a strength workout that day. So I'm not going to throw weights today. So I'll do an ab workout today. That's what I'll do. I just made the decision. So I'm going to finish my bike, do an ab workout, and then I will see y'all somewhere, probably on a couch with some dogs. And we'll go over my list of anti-inflammatory food items. Those are not the right words. Items that we can eat for an anti-inflammatory diet. Anti-inflammation diet? I still don't know the words. I'll know the words when I see y'all back at the house.
Ooh, you wanna come and get me, kick me down and make me hurt myself. Oh no, you will never forget me. I'm imprinted on your heart, I swear. At times you make me angry, but I know that it could always be worse, be worse, be worse. Baby, now I'm trying to forget you. Baby, I know everything that was about you. No, I'm joking, I'm looking for the bathroom. Round and round, yeah, round and round we go. Picture perfect, but so many flaws that stopped you. I don't wanna ever see you in the same room. I open up and then you hit on all my issues. Round and round we go, we go.
All right, friends, I erranded, I worked out, and now I've made it to the couch with the felon. So let's talk, first of all, let me be clear that I know some of y'all show up just on the off chance you might get to see a felon. So Felon Bo is here. Hang on, let me show you. You can probably hear him snoring. You can see just the tiniest bit of little Felon Daisy's head because she's laying over there like the princess that she is, snuggled up in her blankets. So she may or may not come over and join us, but she saw me over here and did not come over and sit by me. So I'm guessing, here, you know what? Let me see. There we go. If I do this, we can all be in the frame. Anyway, let's talk about an anti-inflammatory diet. So if you eat rumor has it, if you eat enough of the right foods and you don't eat too many of the wrong foods, that it can decrease chronic inflammation in your body. What's wrong with chronic inflammation, you ask? Well, it can lead to really bad things I don't want to talk about, but it can also lead to fatigue. So now this is chronic inflammation, not just like every once in a while, like you have acute inflammation, like you hurt yourself and you get all swole up. We ain't talking about that. We're talking about chronic inflammation. Can lead to fatigue, which I don't know that I have that. I think I'm just tired all the time because I get up early and I work all day. So I don't think I'm fatigued. I think I'm just tired. I feel like fatigued means like, this is going to sound so dumb, like I need to stop reading so many books. But I think like when I hear fatigue, I think more like bone weary, like you're just wore slap out. I'm not that, I'm just tired. So I don't feel like I have fatigue, so fatigue, joint pain, yes, please. And like gastrointestinal issues, which I don't think I have those. I just like sometimes things don't move as well as other times because I just don't make the best eating choices. But I don't think that's chronic. I think that's just like I need to eat more roughage sometimes. I know TMI, sorry. Anyway, so I think that my issue with inflammation is joint pain. And I notice like it's not just like I do a hard ride and my knees hurt, because I do that. But then there are times when like I will notice for days that going up and down the stairs, my knees just ache, and like it's not, I don't feel like it's related to any like specific activity. I think probably if I were more attuned to what I'm eating, I would notice that I eat fewer of these foods we're going to talk about or more of the foods on my don't eat list. So let's get into this because I want to make something delicious. And the longer I talk, the longer it's going to take me to get in the kitchen. And the more aggravated this felon is going to get with me. So let's get on it. Number one, so I have a list of things. first on my list is, and many of these things we eat, like we like this stuff. So I think the change is just going to be being cognizant and making sure we're eating these things. So number one is berries. Berries are packed with fiber, vitamins, and minerals. So berries like strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, all delicious, all really good for you. High in, I think, antioxidants. A lot of y'all, we will see a theme of antioxidants through this list. So high in antioxidants, really good for inflammation. Fatty fish. I don't eat nearly enough fatty fish, and I love me some fatty fish. So fatty fish, we know, fatty fish plural, fatty fishes. I know that ain't how you do that. Fatty fish are a great source of protein, of course, and long chain omega-3 fatty acids. So salmon, tuna, sardines. I know my mommy eats sardines. I might need to see if I can't figure out some kind of way to eat sardines. Herring, don't know nothing about no herring or mackerel. Anchovies, all fatty fish, all good for omega-3 fatty acids, great for inflammation. Cruciferous vegetables, how many lists are cruciferous vegetables going to come up on, y'all? They are just slap good for you. These are absolutely rich in antioxidants. So we know broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, kale. I've got to eat kale. I don't know how to eat kale. I'm gonna work on that. That's on my list of things to learn to eat. Kale and chia seeds. Kale and chia. It's on my list of things to learn to eat, but great. But yeah, cruciferous vegetables, high in antioxidants, great for an anti-inflammatory diet. And y'all, it's a super easy way to get bulk in your diet without like jacking up your calories. Avocados. We know avocados contain potassium, magnesium, fiber, fantastic protein, good fats. Y'all, avocados are just dang good. Eat you some avocados. Cherries, rich in antioxidants. Now, the study that I read, excuse the felon, the study that I read was that, I think I just moved myself out of the frame, but that's okay. Y'all are seriously here to see these felons. I know it, it's all right. I would be here to see the felons too if I were you. So anyway, the study that I read was specifically about sour cherries, but I don't know that they were necessarily differentiating between sour cherries and like sweet cherries, or if it was just that's what they were using for the study. So I'm just going to go with cherries in general because they're delicious and I love them and they're expensive, and this is a good way to justify buying cherries. So cherries, rich in antioxidants, great for your anti-inflammatory diet. Tomatoes. We love tomatoes. Y'all, tomatoes are little freaking powerhouses. They're rich in vitamin C, potassium, and lycopene. And if you cook them in olive oil, it helps your body absorb obviously extra virgin olive oil. It helps your body absorb all the good stuff. While we're on it, so put some tomatoes on your anti-inflammatory diet list. Whilst we're at it, extra virgin olive oil. Now look, I think we talked about olive oil. Did we decide if olive oil was a seed oil or not? I think you just have to get the good olive oil and make sure that you know the source of your olive oil. But extra virgin olive oil, y'all, is one of the best sources of healthy fats you can find. So, we're not talking about like drinking olive oil. Just use olive oil in your diet like, a human. Peppers are loaded with vitamin C and antioxidants. Mushrooms. Y'all, I don't eat mushrooms because, have you ever seen a mushroom after it rains? That's because of what frogs do on those things. Because they're called toadstools for a reason, but mushrooms are rich in selenium, copper, did I just say vitamin? What was that? Start all over again. Mushrooms are rich in selenium, copper, B vitamins, and other antioxidants. So they're really good for you. They're just a little slimy and I don't like them. Grapes. Grapes are great for humans, caustic for dogs, by the way. Do y'all know this? So one of the many times that Felon Beau took his life into his own paws and almost got himself killed, the intern and I had to take him to the doggy emergency hospital. And while we were in the waiting room, another dog came in, and it had, I don't remember if the dog was there because it had eaten grapes or it was there for some reason. And we heard the doctor talking to the people, and the doctor said that there's something in grapes that can just straight up flat kill dogs. So do not let your dog eat grapes. That is our public service announcement for the day. But you humans absolutely should eat grapes because grapes contain resveratrol and anthocyanins, which reduce inflammation. Dark chocolate and cocoa, y'all, are packed with antioxidants. Turmeric, we know, right? We know turmeric is a great anti-inflammatory spice. I guess it's a spice. I take it in capsules, which I'm not going to link here. I buy them off the Amazons, but I'm not going to recommend the ones that I get, even though I research them, because I just don't know that they're great ones or the best ones or whatever. But turmeric contains curcumin, is that right? Which is an anti-inflammatory. And there's something about, you got to get it with like black powder or black powder, not like a gun, y'all settle down, black pepper or something. There's something, you have to get the combination because it helps your body absorb it. So if you're going to get turmeric capsules, or like, if you're not going to eat like real turmeric, which I just don't cook with it enough, I think turmeric is what's in curries. So if you cook with it, that's fantastic, but make sure you're cooking with it in combination with the right things to help your body absorb it. But if you're going to buy the capsules, then make sure, like, do just a little bit of Googling, check with ChatGPT, and see what you need to get it in combination with to help your body absorb it. Green tea, delicious, caffeine-free, antioxidant. Very, very good. I need to drink more green tea. I drink lots of black tea, which is actually probably on the don't do it list. We'll talk about that in a minute. But green tea has antioxidants, so drink more green tea. Now, that's our do list. Here's our don't list. And look, y'all, I know y'all know this. Y'all know this, right? We ain't here to judge nobody. I'm not here trying to say that y'all know better than to think that y'all know my peanut butter habit. That's all I've got to say. If you feel like I'm here talking down to you or being all up on a high horse or something, just remember about my peanut butter habit. And then we are all on equal footing. Or I'm actually kind of looking up to other people right now. Anyway, let's talk about things that we need to avoid. High salt foods. So, and y'all, that's... Please, and I know I talked about this when I was driving around. Look, this. I can't even keep my car running. Like, I leave my car sit in the driveway, and I've got a nice car. Like, the intern bought me a nice car, and I leave it sit, not in the driveway, in the garage, for so long that the battery dies. I cannot be trusted. Then I have to drive around town to charge up my battery. So I am 100% not passing judgment on anybody. But look, you hear, y'all. If you've got those like easy make dinners in your freezer, even like the healthy ones, please just I don't remember who it was I saw talking about this one time, but it was somebody that I thought wasn't an idiot. So they were talking about those, anything like that, like any kind of convenient food. When you take something out, something else goes in its place. So like fat-free food. And I know that like I do lots of fat-free stuff, but you have to be careful with the like fat-free processed food. When they take out the fat, a lot of times there's like salt in its place or something. So just be aware with those dinners that a lot of times it's like highly processed or there's lots of salt in it. Now, if you're making a trade out, and we've talked about this with artificial sweetener, right? That there have been not many studies, but there are a couple of studies that suggest that artificial sweetener, I need to be drinking, I have my after workout drink here. Artificial sweetener made me think of that. Which is not artificial sweetener, but I got watermelon this time. Oh my goodness, it's so good. Anyway, it reminds me of Gen X. You will 100% remember this. Remember back in the day, they had those snow cones, and it was like literally like a paper cone, and it was just like shaved ice, and they would squeeze had to be just like sugar water and flavor over it. That's exactly what that tastes like. It's a watermelon Propel. Anyway, the study talks about how artificial sweeteners, consuming a lot of artificial sweetener can increase the risk of developing dementia or Alzheimer's later, like longitudinally, but some people have got to get that sugar out of their diet. So using artificial sweetener allows them to do that. And that's an acute issue. Like, you have got to get your sugars under control. You got to get that sugar out of your diet, and you need that artificial sweetener to allow yourself to do that. So you have to weigh the risks of, I feel like now I'm trying to be serious and like my frame is ridiculous because we're looking at dogs sleeping. But the salt or whatever it is in those processed, I don't even know what, I don't buy those dinners. The intern buys them for himself. I don't buy them. And again, not saying that being judgy, I just don't eat them. And I'll tell you why I don't eat them, because they upset my stomach. Like, I just can't, they do unfortunate things to me. So I can't eat them. So it's not that I'm too good for them. It's just not an option for me. But if you are eating those, because let's say, like, my mom used to work, she's a retired nurse, and she would work 12 hours on, 12 hours off. So she would work overnights, and she would take those dinners because she would work 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. so the cafeteria would be closed. Like, she would eat dinner at 3 o'clock in the morning or something, and the cafeteria would be closed. So she would have one of those little frozen dinners because that was, you know, what she had to do to be able to eat a somewhat healthy dinner while she was working. If you're in that kind of situation and those are the kind of things that, like, that is a healthy option for you, totally do it. But just be aware that a lot of times those have a lot of salt in them or a lot of something. Be aware of that. And back to my list, here's how I got down that rabbit hole. High salt food. Sometimes those dinners can be high salt or highly processed, right? Those can be super processed. But again, if that's the better option for you over other things that you have, like other options that you have that. Just realize that that might be an inflammation trigger, and be careful with other things, or be super careful and eat other things to offset that. Like if you're having a little, I don't know what they're called, like a not Hungry Man. I don't know what the little like dinner things are called. What are they called? Lean cuisine. So if you're having like a lean cuisine, maybe have you some grapes with it. Or if you can't, and again, I don't know your life, but if you can, take you maybe some grapes and some tomatoes to eat along with it to maybe help offset that totally like processedness of the whole thing. So anyway, that was a rabbit hole. I was trying to keep us on track. I have a list. I was trying to keep us on the list. But so here is my list of things to avoid. High salt foods, red and processed meats. I bet that's where I'm getting I just scared. Did you see that? I scared Fallon Daisy with my flailings about, I'm sorry, sissy. Because I eat lunch meat sandwiches often, and it's lean lunch meat, but that don't mean it's not processed. So I bet there's stuff in that processed meat that is not good for me. Trans fats, we know that ain't good. Any kind of highly processed food. So fast foods, and again, y'all, not judging, just be aware. Like, be aware of what you're throwing down your gullet. So fast foods, those frozen meals, any kind of frozen meal, if it's easy to make, it's highly processed. Like, I saw a friend who is a nurse made just a, like, not silly, but like just offhand Facebook post asking folks, how do you, I can move my camera now. Now that Fallon Daisy is here, we can have a little better of a, we're almost done, but asking how you can, like, what you add to make your ramen noodles better. Well, I don't know what kind of ramen he has, but often ramen, like if it's like the cup of noodles where you just like add water and then it's done in a minute or whatever, those noodles are fried. Like, that's highly processed and probably a lot of salt, but that's how they cook so fast, So things like that. And again, you're trading off the cook time for processedness, but he's a nurse. So, and I don't know if he's a hospital floor nurse, but I don't know any nurse that works in a situation where they can sit down and actually like make themselves a meal during their shift. So sometimes that's just the trade-off, right? Maybe he's adding healthy stuff to his ramen. I don't know. I did not reply to that post by saying, do you know how bad those are for you? But anyway, highly processed food should be on your list of things to be aware of before you throw them down your gullet. Refined carbs. So that's another thing I need to look at is my bread, my Sara Lee Delightfuls. Y'all know I find them delightful, and again, I'm not saying I'm not going to eat it. I'm just going to be aware that maybe that's what's adding to my inflammation. Sugar sweetened beverages. My sweet tea. Oh, it's my sweet tea. And I don't know that a teaspoon of sugar a day is an issue, but I think that's more like canned Cokes and stuff. Like those are very sugar sweetened. There's a dog out there barking and she is deaf as a post, but look at her. She definitely is noticing something. So let's finish this up before she starts yapping in my microphone. So sugar sweetened beverages. So y'all please be careful of like Cokes or any kind of like super sweet tea, any of that stuff. I don't know why I think my tea is any better than your tea, but that was a little judgy. Ultra processed foods. I don't know, do I have processed foods twice? I think I have processed food and highly processed food and ultra processed food. Is there a difference? I don't know, but just be careful with processed foods because all that junk they put in it is not good for your body. So, all right, the felons are waking up. They're about done with me over here rabbling. I have something that I have not made before, but you know what, let's just get in the kitchen. I'm gonna do a little bit of pre-gaming because y'all don't need to sit there and watch me chop up stuff. So let me go chop up some stuff. Let me wake him up, give him a comfort break. She's about to need a comfort break. So let them go have a comfort break. Let me do some pre-gaming, get my kitchen ready, and then we will make something and then we'll be out. So I will see y'all in the kitchen in a minute. All right, y'all. I chopped up a bunch of stuff. So now let's make something. This is gonna be much like what we made last week, but it's a little fancier. And this one I'm not making just because it's delicious. I'm making it because of my inflammation. So it's different. So I'm gonna start by I'm using avocado oil to cook my chicken. I don't know if y'all saw that, but that's avocado oil. And I chopped up a couple of pounds of chicken. So I'm gonna throw it in here and start that cooking. And while that's cooking, I'm gonna tell you about my sauce. I know y'all are like, deja vu, I know, but check this out. So, my shaky jar, I did about 3 tablespoons of that minced ginger, 3 tablespoons of minced garlic, and then I used coconut aminos instead of soy sauce because we're getting away from the salt. So I did 3, speaking of getting away, I'm gonna have to get away from that sizzle, but I did 3 tablespoons of coconut aminos, 2 tablespoons of honey, I know, a tablespoon of rice vinegar, and about half a tablespoon of cornstarch. And then it was supposed to be about 2 tablespoons of water, but I just put in some water. So I probably did, I don't know, 3 or 4 tablespoons of water because I want a good amount of sauce. So let me cook this chicken and I'll be back. As per usual, I underestimated the size of the pot I needed, but we have sized up and it's all good. So I'm gonna leave this a little bit underdone. Actually, I'm gonna let it cook a little bit. No, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and pull it because I don't want it to get overcooked. So I'm gonna take out my chicken. And now watch this. I'm so excited. Today we have bell peppers, and sugar snaps. Yum! So I'm gonna cook these down a little. Into this, I think I'm gonna add a little toasted sesame oil just for the deliciousness. Throw in some onions. Throw in my broccoli. See, it's like last week, but fancy. I'm gonna cut it down a little because I really want these vegetables to get done, but I don't want them to scald. All right, that looks good. Now I'm gonna add my chicken back in. Definitely a good thing I changed pots. Y'all see these felons down here licking the floor? Right? I know, y'all see me flinging things out of the pot and I'm acting like, why are my dogs licking the floor? I know. All right, so I'm gonna let this cook just a little bit before I put in pour in my shaky jar, because y'all saw what happened last week. As soon as you pour in the stuff there, because I just threw something on the floor. As soon as you throw in the stuff out of the shaky jar, it starts to thicken up. Now, there's a little bit of liquid in here, and I put extra water in my shaky jar, but it's still gonna thicken up very, very quickly. So I want this to be pretty much done. That's warm. Oh yeah, there's a big piece. Oh, we're about there. Oh yeah, I think we might have it. All right, let's do it. I was gonna put the top on it and just let it simmer, but I'm not gonna because I don't want to overcook this chicken. Whoa! Oh, I wish I could smell this. It smells so good. Everything smells good. The sauce smells good. The veggies smell good. It all smells very delicious. Oh, I need to cut it back up a little. There it goes. Nice thing about cornstarch, I know y'all know this, is that you don't have to boil it. Like if you thicken with flour, you have to boil it to get rid of that floury taste. But cornstarch, you don't have to do that. So as soon as it hits temperature, it thickens up. Look, so that's done. That is done. I'm gonna kill the heat. I'm gonna move it around a little more. I'm excited, y'all. I'm so excited about this now. Much like with last week's dish, you can serve this over rice, over jasmine rice, over brown rice, over noodles. I think what I'm gonna do is make some quinoa and not serve it over quinoa because that might be weird, but have this and some quinoa, maybe a salad, because yum. Yep, that is planned. All right, let's give her a taster. Hang on, I have a little bowl. I have all these little bowls that I used after my chopping. So let's just get some pieces. Oh, guess I could have done this hang on. Let's do that again. Hang on, take two. Let me do it not in a green bowl so y'all can see what you're actually looking at. There we go. That's lovely. Lovely. All right, let me grab a fork. Oh, it smells so good, look. It's hot. Let me try not to set my face on fire. Oh my word. It is so good and it is very, very different. I forgot. Coconut aminos is very sweet. Not very sweet, but it's sweet. It is not, I mean, obviously it's not salty like soy sauce. So I could have left out the honey. Now, I need to calculate points because the honey has points and coconut amino doesn't have a bunch of points, but it has points, which soy sauce does not. So hang on, I'm gonna eat some more. It's a little sweet with the honey, coconut aminos, and the ginger, but it is very good. The chicken's very tender. Veg is crisp. It's perfect. It's so, so good. So I think it's a little, well, I used 2 pounds of chicken, which is double, maybe even a little north of 2 pounds of chicken, which is twice as much as I should have used. So it's a little light on sauce, which is fine for me because I'm not going to put it over rice. But if I were to serve it over rice, this would not be enough sauce. So I would have to probably make a sauce on the side or just actually use the right amount of things. But yeah, y'all, that is delicious. So that's it for me. Let us know in the comments, what are your thoughts on anti-inflammatory diets? Do you worry about chronic inflammation? If so, do you suffer? What are your symptoms? And what do you try to eat to control your inflammation? Let us know in the comments. Y'all, thank you so, so much for hanging out with me. If you made it this far, we are most definitely friends. So go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you can keep up with the shenanigans. I upload food and fitness videos over here at the beginning of every week, with some book videos over on Fit Danielle Reads, sprinkled in between, and now I do a daily devotional over on Fit Danielle Prays. So if I don't see you on one of those, I'll catch you on the next one.